I got a taste of love since I was barely 17. That's all I could think of. The first time I was nervous, but I became a man. The second time I had a one-night stand. I was stuck for everything. I hook her out of bed. She made $20 and she made a man of me. I never told nobody, but I learned to be a man. The second time I had a one-night stand. The second time I had a one-night stand, I stayed all night. I was young and hungry. She fit my appetite. A smorgasbord of loving, life fit a full-grown man. The second time I had a one-night stand. The second time I had a one-night stand. The years went by, I settled down and found myself a wife. But honest, I've been faithful all of my married life. Lila is an actress now. You see her on the screen. But Lila made a lover out of me. The second time I had a one-night stand, I stayed all night. I was young and hungry. She fed my appetite. Smorgasbord of loving, Lila fit a full-grown man. The second time I had a one-night stand. The second time I had a one-night stand. The second time I had a one-night stand. He died in his sleep last Saturday night. The funeral is Tuesday at 3. The kids all went over and packed up his things, and my cousin Connie called me. She knew that old Uncle Henry and I had been close, so she thought that I should know that his sense of humor lived on till the end, and I laughed till I cried at his note. The note that she read that she found by his bed was short and simple, and it simply said, "You know I've always loved you, but I've always hated goodbyes. So just cancel my doctor's appointment and get out my good suit and tie. My checking account's about empty, so it's time for me to check out. I ain't leaving nothing to no one, so you won't be fighting about who gets what I leave behind. All I have left now is my peace of mind. Give my old clothes to the Salvation Army get to the funeral on time. And he said, I never saw a coffin with pockets. Long ago I made up my mind to spend what I made for a living while living, and don't leave no fussing behind. So cancel my doctor's appointment and tell everyone I'm all right. There won't be no fights at my funeral. See you later, y'all. Goodbye. I never saw a coffin with pockets. Long ago I made up my mind to spend what I made for a living while living, and don't leave no fussing behind. Yeah, to spend what I made for a living, and don't leave no fussing behind. Goodbye, Uncle Henry. You know, you're right.
God knows the man hated rain. 2 cars, a van, and an old pickup truck turned on their headlights at 3rd Street in Maine. The preacher, his mother, and a couple of other old army buddies, you know, followed him out where they laid down his body. As for his soul, destination unknown. Fought in a war where they killed little children, men and old women he'd never seen. Bombs would rain down on the farmland and towns. They burned everything that was green, following orders, doing his duty, just do what he was told. War took a hell of a toll on his body, his mind, his heart, and his soul. Never got over the dreams he kept dreaming, and the voices he heard in his head. Said he was homeless, but the Salvation Army provided hot soup, some prayers, and a bed. He longed for a woman to hold him and love him, but he never had one of his own. He kept on dreaming, pulling the trigger on innocence never known. His mama kept telling him God would forgive him, Jesus still loved him, and yet every day those old memories came calling, and every night he dreamed to forget. Last Friday night he decided to leave made his escape on his own. You know, Daddy Rudd simply said, Lord, I'm leaving, destination unknown. Men fight and die for the flag that we fly. Someday men do make it home. Know where they've been, but when they pack it in, destination unknown. Destination unknown.
The young man was standing at the crossroads of life, contemplating taking a wife, with no job or money, just a heart full of love. He believed that he was capable of raising a family, building a home, making his way through this life on his own. Reality still was a stranger to him. He jumped into deep water before he could swim. He jumped into deep water before he could swim. Deep water. Sometimes you go under, sometimes you survive. Deep water. Sometimes while wading through life, ought to turn back, but we keep going on till there's no turning back and our options are gone. God only knows who will survive as we swim the deep waters of life. Deep, dark waters of life. A young girl was standing at the crossroads of life. She stood in the glow of the Hollywood lights. Many temptations were placed in her path. She knew if she fell, there'd be no turning back. Fortune and fame were just one step away. She knew that she'd have the devil to pay. She knew she'd never have this chance again. She jumped into deep water before she could swim. She jumped into deep water before she could swim. Deep water. Sometimes you go under, sometimes you survive. Deep water. Sometimes while wading through life, the end of their stories are mysteries unknown. Who went under? Who paddled on? Or did they both make it through on their own? We don't know. We don't know. We ought to turn back, but we keep going on till there's no turning back and our options are gone. And God only knows who will survive as we swim the deep waters of life. Deep, dark waters of life. Deep, dark waters of life. This country was built by our forefathers when you lived by the sweat of your brow. You cared for your own, and when children were grown, they too kept a hand on the plow. When the government meant that money was spent to govern and keep our land free, now my sweat subsidizes numerous vices that makes a slave out of me. Whatever happened to working to eat? Would they starve if the rest of us quit? Those in D.C. would quit milking me, and more folks would start working, I bet. Now I'm not referring to those who just can't 'cause they're sick or too old or unable to get out of bed, keep themselves fed, put their own bread on the table. I know that hand on the plow is an old cliche now, but I don't have much time to ride, 'cause I work 9 to 5, staying alive, and a part-time job every night. At the 7-Eleven from 6 until 10, so my wife can stay home with our boys, 'cause my taxes are spent on subsidized rent and some politicians' new toys. 'Cause my taxes are spent on subsidized rent and some politicians' new toys. I'm not complaining about orphans and widows, God knows none of us are. But the government takes the money we make, takes the whole damn thing too far. I know hand on the plow is an old cliche now, but I don't have much time to ride, 'cause I work 9 to 5, staying alive, and a part-time job every night. At the 7-Eleven from 6 until 10, so my wife can stay home with our boys, 'cause my taxes are spent on subsidized rent and some politicians' new toys. 'Cause my taxes are spent on subsidized rent and some politicians' new toys. Taxes are spent on subsidized rent and some politicians' new toys. Put your hand on the plow.
Standing by the window, looking out into the darkness. It was nearly midnight. The man was still not home. cold wind blowing. She was waiting for the storm. Lying in the darkness, waiting for the storm. When his headlights hit the window, she climbed underneath the covers, and like a frightened child she trembled. She heard him calling as he staggered down the hallway. She pretended she was sleeping, and she's in for stormy weather. It's gonna rain again. Lying in the darkness, waiting for the storm. Her name might be Melinda, Emmylou, or Anne Marie. She might live in Missouri, Idaho, or Tennessee. She may live in New York City, or she might live on a farm. No matter who, no matter where, waiting for the storm. Lying in the darkness, waiting for the storm. He might be a lawyer, or a farmer, or a bum. They may live in a mansion, or a steamboat. No matter who, no matter where, waiting for the storm. Lying in the darkness, waiting for the storm.
Like an unfinished poem that ran out of rhyme, he died with his pen in his hand. Like a grandfather clock that just ran out of time, life put an end to the man. What would he have written in 20 more years, or a month, or a week, or a day? Wouldn't more words of wisdom have rolled off his pen had he said all that he had to say? When life turned the page and it's time to go came, he simply had to move on. But even the common man closes his eyes at the end, leaving unfinished song. So live your life story one word at a time. Some writer will write it, you know. Make sure that you've lived and loved all that you can when it comes turns your page and your time to go comes, you simply must move on. Even the common man closes his eyes at the end, leaving unfinished song. Who will write your unfinished